Oh, baby. Got in the chair just in time. That yes, yo, you don't stop. Big John come rocking the short shot of a guan. Mi gente, it's the fastest freaking show in MLB. Absolutely anywhere with your boy. It's your fucking boy. Big Johnny Stud, yo. Coming to you worldwide. Brooklyn, New York, as always. Coming out that damn chair, as always. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Nobody wants to be doing this shit. Let's get in and out so we can go have some fun. I was a little bit behind today. Hanging out with the creature, my father-in-law's garage, you know, and a dozen shots of whiskey will slow even the strongest man down. All right, enough of that shit. More of this. All right, what do we got? It's not quite a full slate. We're also live and winning bets. Yesterday was another slight winner. That Detroit moneyline loss was a finger in your coolie. Damn right. Oh, that sucked. I mean, you're leading the whole way, one out from getting that bitch home, and bing bong, the fucking bitch is dead. So, such is life in the big city. But we're, doing our thing just a couple days into the live stuff, but, off to a good start. And I'm feeling really good about the work. I think that's the point of the combine. By the time that we're in the game, we're feeling tested. We have some experience, even within this season. No bet your bottom dollar I'm back testing this shit the entire way. All right, let's fucking do this damn thing. Like I said, I was a little bitch behind when I even forgot one of my favorite things. My goodness. I get it's the best part of waking up. Pitching sheets in the mug. Everybody, why don't you suck these up for just a quick second? You'll notice I didn't bring over the money line prices. It's going to take me 1 second. Let me just do that. It's going to make my life a lot easier. That's why if you notice, those are not always up on Sunday, because it's really like a more selfish thing for me when I open up the game introductions, to lead off at the price. I think that's obviously really important, right? We're going to be talking prices. All right, so there we go. Not so bad. Should we start early? Should we start late? I'm really a little bit unprepared. I wouldn't call it hungover, just a little bit off kilter here. Because is anybody going to be listening to this shit during the day? Like, I almost kind of doubt that. Though it feels like we got a bunch of games at night. I really thought the holiday schedule would be more slanted towards the day. We got 2 at 1. We got 2 at 2. 1 at 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then there's 5 at night. All right, I guess we could do the nighttime. Maybe that'll help shorten the show anyway. So let's start at the back end with the fills. We'll do that 5-pack at the back. Click, clack in the back of the ack. Pack in the mac. In the back of the ack. All right, let's do the thing. Jesus Lizard on the bump for the fills, minus 125. Slight favorite on the road against, Macho Man. Randy Vasquez on the bump for the Friar Tugs. Vasquez, having the reclamation. Though, I think these pitchers are in a pretty good, a flip-flop spot. Luzardo's had the blow-ups, and we know that's killed him. However, all the indicators are pristine. The disciplinary stuff, beside the luck stuff, 64 left on base, 361 BABIP, nearly 13 homer fly ball for Luzardo, with a 21.5 KBB, 14 swing and strike, 31 CSW, 36.5 chase, sub 85 zone contact. Those are very much winning inputs on the disciplinary stuff. Bill, you're going to have to give me a second, bro, Ham. Luzardo keeping the ball down. It's just been, again, like I say, the blow-ups. And if you're into the home road stuff, also, Luzardo has a 7.3 ERA at the crib, 1.5 road ERA. Vasquez, again, all the splits, right? This is the reflexive analysis here. Vasquez with the strong ERA whip combo, but the indicator's not really buying it, and the disciplinary stuff significantly worse. He doesn't get the called stuff over. He is allowing ball in play, and he's getting barreled up. He's been kind of lucky. Pricing feels a little bit light on the Philly side. I know they've been a nightmare to back. You could see exactly why. Phillies versus righties last 2 weeks, nearly 300 plate appearances of pure filth. Sub 200 BA, 278 slug, 532 OPS, 23.5 KBB. This is horrendous. But it's not really Vasquez's game, right? They've hit the ball hard, got the line drives going. The X-Con still at 380. Letting you know there's a little ember kind of burning. And Padres v. lefties is about as bad of a split as there is on the board. 227 PAs versus lefties last 30 days for the Friar Tucks. Batting 203, 573 OPS. You know, all the shit we went through with Philly, except they're not even hitting the ball hard. 274 ex-Woba, 322 on the X-Con. Significantly worse projections. Bullpen, I think we have to give the edge to San Diego. Sorry, I'm like flipping as we go. Though the Phillies have not been bad either, and I don't think you have to fade them is what I mean. Luzardo can go deep, where I think Vasquez, we want that second, third time through the order. So I'm going to go Phillies for the win. Feeling a little bit cheap for the pitching edge, I think. And I know the Phillies haven't hit, but I'm not ready to sell them down the river to the damn fucking Padres. So, all right, Phillies minus 125, feeling pretty good. And away we go. Tatsuya Imai on the bump for the Astros. They are on the road plus 113 dog with the bullpen emoji. On the road against Kumar Rock and Roller and the Walker Ranger Texas fucking something or others. Rangers have stunk, man. There are some teams, again, it's not like to knock them because it's more of a general thing. They're like, some teams can like lose a star and they seem to like stay afloat. And this happens to the Rangers every year when your stars are constantly missing time, that we just get such a good look at that. Right now, Rangers been without Langford. Seager held on longer than we thought he might. Makes it to May 13th. He's on the IL. Then Josh Jung, the last piece, injured yesterday. I doubt he's going to play today. I don't know if he's going to the injured list. D-Trip, what's up, man? Morning, Big John, B.E., my guys. Trent, what's going on? I really appreciate you too. EZ, my guy. Yo, the usual wolf suspects. I'm like, you see me? I'm like slurring my words and shit. I didn't drink this morning, I promise. Put the edibles on hold for now. Love your analysis style. Really's help. Is the spreadsheet online? Yes, it is. Description in the YouTube bio or on the Twitter. You know, the Twitter handle is right down there underneath my fourth chin or third chin. $2 a week makes all your dreams come true. How did I forget the fucking catch line? Don't be a cheap bitch your whole life. All right, be a cheap bitch most of your life. Except support this shit because I'm going to save you time. That's what this is all about. You know, this is like literally like having a really smart friend to talk about baseball to. That's what it is. And he makes all types of really, or she makes all types of, you know, really good data-backed mean outcome arguments to just have you say, hey, maybe I wonder why this is this, or I wonder where maybe I was missing. Or you might say, the quants and the computers think this, but you may have another swerve. And, you know, that's what this shit's all about. Okay, so Imai and Rocker. Man, Houston, that bullpen already a mess. And they've got the emoji. This is like, you know, you got to get out of the way. King 2-3, Abreu 2-3, Oker 2-3, De Los Santos also 2-3. The pitch count's not crazy, but those 3 or 4s is when you start to look for drop off in production. You know, Imai's been kind of trash, and Rocker, though a bit erratic. See, maybe I'm going to get myself in trouble here because I think I watched the last start, and he was freaking awesome, right? I don't want to go on too many diatribes here, but when I have my own questions, I got to get them answered. Because these are guys that I like, and I'm trying to figure out if I'm watching too much of it. I just saw the wrong inning. Because we know Rocker can look like a Cy Young inning 1, then give up 6 runs inning 2. Like, that's kind of just been the thing. So first things first, just to the game log, not the totally game log watch. Gosh, he was awesome. Right, he came in relief and went 7 2/3. Maybe he's a bulk reliever, I don't know. He still walked at least 3 batters each of the last 3. That was the first time he'd gone over 5 strikeouts since like early April. Quick hood pop on Rocker. Year over year, okay, more sinkers, more sliders. Pulling back on the cutter and on the four seam. Dumped the curveball to get some more of the changeups in. The changeup is just for lefties. That pitch is getting whiffs, but he's gotten hit because he hangs it sometimes. Now he's mostly a sinker slider guy. And I think the reason I like to look at the Arsenal stuff, maybe more than anything, is it's a good way to say, like, has there been some kind of tangible change that might explain, what kind of bump? And also sometimes with Arsenal changes, we need to be a little bit patient for them to kind of, you're like figuring all this stuff out, because it's not just about which pitches, which makes a big difference. It's also the fucking sequences. There's a little nuance of context dripping out of your nose on this beautiful Memorial Day. A lot of movable forces and stoppable objects kind of clashing here. The Houston offense that started out so good is now in the tank. They did return Pena. They do return Myers. The big piece, obviously, is Alvarez, right? Jordan Alvarez missed the game. Now, right, he come out with was it a foul ball or his back or something? He said it was something minor. He came out of Saturday's game. They said he didn't miss Sunday because he's going to the IL. I don't think he'd had a single day off. And he even gave you a handful of games in the outfield. So it'll be interesting to see how that gets played today. I don't think I want to bet on this until I know where Alvarez stands. I'd like to see, right, you can hard to take it under, or the Rangers with a piece like that kind of floating around. See, Rocker, I felt it had trouble with lefties, and he's been pretty good this year. I still think Texas does win, but I don't want to back up on the thing that I opened on, which is the offense is just really hard to trust right now with all missing pieces, right? So it's not to knock the talent. Funny, because the L7 stuff for the Rangers is really strong. So if you're like a small sample guy with offense, I'm not, and I don't think you should be. Maybe you do take advantage of a bad matchup here. Yeah, anytime, Shrink. Gotcha, player. And Jeff L., my guy. Hope everyone's enjoying the long weekend. Again, I'm going to try and get you out of here pretty quick. So I like the Rangers because I think we have the pitching. I'm like certain we have the bullpen, and their bullpen's hanging by a thread. Man, and we're at home. I gotta go with the Rangers. I'm curious if any money's kind of come in on them. I wonder if that line has moved since I filled in this morning a little bit. Just a little bit. Man, anything past 135, I'm starting to get that pussy face on. So I'm going to... I feel like I could find a 135 if I look. I'm not shopping right now. I had to get rid of that for the show. Whatever, give me Texas and we'll fucking move it on, man. I just can't fuck with that. Couple more comments thrown in. Yo, Josh Witt, what's going on? Good morning, brother. And DeJuan, good to see you. The +1 run hit and ribby is golden. Look at that shit. So again, if anyone is unfamiliar, that's another one of the things you get on the fucking mountain of crap. I'm going over to the Algo board. You don't get to see it because we're not grooved in. Homers, 2 hit run ribbies, and then base hit. And then again, if you're like some of the Spartans here, remember this shit ain't man.
This is Sparta.
They're out there pairing these alt things, and I'm not like the biggest like prop parlay guy, but I will say this. If you noticed, once we made the move to the 2 hit and run ribby, the list got significantly smaller because I've really tightened up the parameters. I really want you to be able to go and hit all of those, right? The person that puts out 49 fucking homers every day like that, that's not really going to help anybody. Or they're going to become like Bezos wealthy. Well, whatever. It's one or the other. These I really, really freaking believe in. But also, if you turn them down to the 1, like if that was a mistake, you can see where I would take almost every one of these. Because I'm telling you, I have the parameters really tight. Meaning if I had enough time to break down the individual hitter side of these things that ring, you're like, yeah, we got to get a fucking piece of that ass. So I've been really encouraged by those. Yesterday was weird. We had 2 pairs. We lost 2 players, but cashed 1 bet, right? So my Roth came out with the fucking leadoff ding dong, right? So like that was a fucking kill shot. And then Burleson, they got postponed. Then we hit another one, but had Gavin Sheets sell us out. He got a hit and had a chance at the end, but we just didn't get it done. Again, you know, you're playing these things at plus money. You can't expect to hit everyone, even though I do. All right, next up. Jansen Junk Bowler on the bump for the mighty Marlins of Miami. They're plus 140 dogs on the road against Trey Savage. Yeah, the Macho Man. Lots of macho shit going on. Lots of machismo today. Does that work for you, brother? You know, Jansen Junk has been a lot better than I think the narrative before. And I wonder if it's like a heat thing or kind of getting figured out thing. But there was always a risk that the Junk thing would fall apart. What I mean is, you could see elite command and control, 33 ball, sub 6 walk, but the swing and miss, cold stuff, not over, 91 zone contact. You're always going to be playing with fire, right, when you're pitching in zone. I think we're really outgunned against your Savage, and I think that's probably reflected in the price here. I'm wondering if we can get behind Toronto for some kind of cover. That offense has been impossible to fucking back. Last 2 weeks versus righties, you can see they're starting to get some extra base hits. They're starting to be aggressive. We had mentioned their passivity a couple weeks ago. A couple of pulled line drives, we like that, but nothing else really clicking. I hate to see the chasing from a team like Toronto, whose offensive success was generally predicated on discipline. Did we give them the edge? I think Toronto has the edge. I don't know. It's really close. The Marlins haven't been great either. I like a few of the pieces of the Marlins. I like a fucking few pieces on the Blue Jays also. I'd like them all a lot better if they'd all start hitting. I'd like to be under this one, but the books seem to beat us to it. 3.5, 7.5 on the totals, which is entirely too low. I think the Blue Jays win, but it's entirely too rich. As far as the run line goes, I'm right on the edge. I generally like to see, I like to see a full run. I don't always get a full run, but I do want to be closer to it than this, a shade under 3/4, right? You could see that column if anybody's looking at this shit going, what is that? Right, we model all the shit in the gray are the book numbers, right? The book line translated into win-loss. The third one is the difference of our projected win. Remember, all these things is not guessing. They're all formulas. And what I mean is, I think someone told me you can actually make a copy of this sheet, and I think it might keep the formulas. I'm not sure. If not, and anyone is interested in that, I could get you that. I could put out a blank one where I think I can put out a blank one. I know I can somewhere else. And then you can input on your own. Somebody that was kind of not working for me, but was really into the stuff a couple of years ago, was playing with their own totals. Just to give you an idea of how the math works. I think seeing it sometimes, creates that muscle memory anyway that we're always talking about. Other thing, I'd like to be closer to that 0.9 at least, to go for the run line when we're at home. Because losing the ninth frame and the Marlin bullpen has been good. So, if I'm making a pick, it's, I don't know, maybe it's the under 7.5. Maybe I'm looking for an 8, or maybe I'm giving up a little bit of Husio for it. I'm just not sure Junk dominates Savage. 7.5s are so low. I don't know. I'm gonna put Toronto to win like a fucking donkey. If there's another big favorite, maybe we could pair favorites. I'm not totally opposed to that. Next up, Tanner Gordon on the bump for the Rocks on the road, plus 256 dog down in Hollywood, always up to no good, to face my boy Emmett Sheehan and the Trolley Dodgers. Minus 325 favorite. If you're paying minus 325 for an MLB game, you're fucking clinically insane. You fucking issues, mad issues. I was going to say, right, we always talk about, because the question I get all the time is, when do we decide between money line, run line? I was just trying to get into that a little bit. And the thing is the price. So I had this really stupid look on my face, more stupid than the normal stupid look, when I saw the run line was listed on MGM as plus 105. For a minus 325 for the plus 105, that's incredible. However, you better pump the brakes on that bitch. Hold up. Wait a minute. With your big ass. With your fucking big ass. It's a minus 2.5. Yikes. I don't think I like that. I don't think I've ever played that. I don't think I ever am going to play that. Yeah, my bookie, same thing, minus 2.5. So can we even get these fucks to even, if we go Blue Jays and Dodgers, do we even get them? Can we even get them to even? Because even though I did mention I'm not like fundamentally opposed to pairing favorites, I will do it. I know it pisses off some of the boomers. I got to get a positive number. All right, there's your answer. You're going to go, you go Toronto plus the Dodgers. So here, I'm going to actually put that on the show thing. Toronto plus Dodgers ML. I got plus 111 on that. And I think that's the move I like. You're not getting plus money on these run lines. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. So that's, remember, 100 ways to skin a cat without scratching its asshole. Appreciate you all. Josh asking, you worried about TB and Baltimore getting rained out? Man, I didn't think I saw any red today. Again, I'm not a meteorologist. I don't pretend to be. I like to use, I think like everyone else, I like to use Kevin Roth stuff. He's got them listed at yellow. I mean, I got 51% precipitation. That's not, and this is his stuff on Prop Finder it's hosted on now. So no, I guess I'm not really too worried. Okay, let me try and move this on. I'm freezing out and glitching. This stream may drop if it doesn't pick back up in a second. I wonder if I'm like, you see me even scrolling around, or if I just look like a fucking jamoke right now. Shit, I'm frozen out. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. There we go. And we're back. Holy crap. You know what it is? I have kids home today, and my Wi-Fi is getting fucking stretched. And I'm plugged in 5G Ethernet, and even still, sometimes we have these glitchy moments. So, all right, let's go Donkey Parlay. Let's get out of here. The show is like spinning in the roll off the rails. Yo, Adonis in the building. What's going on? And J Main, good to see you. Yeah, it says minus 325 is crazy. It's fucking crazy. You can't pay that. And in fact, there's a part of me that is almost like, you know what? You kind of bet I'm curious, what is the... Man, I wonder what that F5... Like, what is the offer to get the run? Can you get a plus 1.5 F5? If you can get a plus 1.5 5 at plus money, I think you almost take that blind. I'm dead serious. Would have a hard time thinking the model is ever going to spit that out as not like a viable bet. All right, let's get back on track here. Luis Castillo on the bump for the Mariners. I guess he's getting another look because Miller stunk so bad. But he's on the road against the A's, Aaron Savali, and the Athletics. Wind blowing out in Sacramento. This one's obviously over or nothing. The books and the totals already kind of beat us to it. 5.5 to 10.5 with good reason. I mean, this could be a shit show. Castillo up to a 6.4 ERA, 1.55 whip, expected ERA, over 5.5 as well. The cold stuff is completely gone. Like, I don't know. He's been unlucky, and I will grant him that. 60 left on base, 346 BABIP. We absolutely look for that to regress. However, right, bought. 51 hard hit, 12 barrel. You're making your own luck. 41 fly ball, 46 pull. You're making your own luck at that point, right? So it should come back to earth a little bit, but he's been downright bad. 6 ERA at home, nearly 7 ERA on the road, nearly 8 ERA last 30 days. Shit's spitted out of control for Castillo. Savali's been much better from the outputs than I think the disciplinary stuff would lead you to believe. Because he's getting hit hard. He's getting elevated and pulled. Again, there isn't like power in the pitching here. He's throwing 91 with bad stuff. Plus, this is a nightmare scenario for both of the pitching staffs. Again, for me to tell you there's going to be scoring isn't fucking 8D chess. Getting to 11 is really difficult. I generally don't look to do that. It's just normally not my style. We absolutely could get there. And it doesn't happen often that I'm modeled both teams over 5. Now, I'm sure one of my esteemed capos might have already been on this. Again, I can't shop this shit around right now. My computer's going to prolapse itself. But I wonder what a both team to score 3 and 4 here is. Also, right, this is where the fucking stuff is crazy. Or every once in a while I'll shout out drafters. Drafters is like Prize Picks, you know what I mean? One of these like prop parlay sites, right? You kind of have to parlay. But unlike Prize Picks or Underdog, they don't have scaled pricing. They're all uniformed. And I think there's a much better pathway to getting paid on these circus games playing this route. Let me show you in real time. Again, they don't pay me. Maybe they should. If you want to sign up and tell them I sent you, whatever. No one gives a shit. Okay, so just that game. I'm going to read off the menu, and you can pair 2 from each team, 4 total in a game. So a lot of sites are not going to let you do that without penalty, especially, right? Fucking price matters. So this is how I like to attack, like I call them circus games or whatever, the games that we think could get, well, they have totals of 11, right? It's not on me. All right. Langoliers, a run or 2 bases. Cortez, 2 bases or a single. Kurtz, 2 bases. Right off the bat, I know I had Cortez and Kurtz on my list. The single thing is tough because it has to be a single. Imagine you bet a guy for a single and not 2 bases. He gets fucking 2 doubles, you lose. So, like, I don't like them fucking with me. I almost wish they only offered 1 because I don't like to make the fucking tough decision. I probably go with the bases, even though it's funny. I mean, maybe is that stupid? I guess that's fucking stupid because you could probably price them out. And the single is probably a much better price than the 2 bases. Although maybe not that. I'm thinking of a hit. A hit. See, it's not a hit. It's a single. So you got to parse this stuff out. But anyway, you can also round robin them, make your own round robins. So that's it on the A side. Other side, Naylor, who I have on the list. He's got a run or 2 bases. Again, it's not uniformed. A Rosarena for a run. Crawford for 2 bases. J-Rod 2 bases. Love that. Cole Young, I also had on it. I had him more for a hit because he's at the back of the lineup. But man, so you could go J-Rod and Naylor and, Kurtz and Langoliers. And you're getting a 10 pop, right? 10 times on that. Now, of course, you want to go check. I'm not sure if that feels heavy or light, depending. You have to go price it real time. I do know, because I used to do the total base stuff. I would never, ever, ever get on total base props in these games because the prices are insane. So you have to price it yourself. But I love the mix and match there. Even like the Naylor run, right? Guy's an on-base machine. We think there's going to be scoring. Maybe he gets it. Or you like the Cortez single. Guy's going to fucking lead off. He's going to get 5 whacks at a single, in a contact scenario. So that's why I like to go with those. Dewan says, I like Shea. Yeah, he's such a beast. Holy crap. He is such a beast. All right, I'm going to just do an algo. We'll do like a board read. Let's do a little afternoon parlay. Again, baseball content in the afternoon is like, dead in the fucking crib or whatever the saying is. Let me just make sure I got my ducks in a row. 1, 2, 3. All right, and look, I'm just not even going to... Is my face covering the bottom one? Yeah, I'll scroll when we get down to the bottom. Sugar Shane Mack on a bump for the Rays, minus 137 on the road against Kyle Horse Bradish and the Orioles. Both of these guys kind of humming. I was hoping to get under the 4.5. It doesn't look like that's an option. But if I'm pairing in the afternoon, I'm probably giving them the little bit of juice that they're asking for, depending on the price. I'm trying to filibuster until I could fucking get my hands on a price. And I'm in streaming hell right now. Right, it is 4, but the 4 is minus 112, which is, not nutty. The 4.5 is minus 143, which is a little bit heavy. So maybe I'm under the 8. Maybe I'm under the 8. The bullpens have both been okay. I think you could get distance from both of them. And the weather is really shitty also. Right? It's like, I know I was saying I wasn't worried about losing the game. I mean, I'm not, because the precipitation number is a little low for that. But it's still going to be like 50 degrees in Baltimore. So let's get under that 8, sir. I want to keep my show picks in line here also. So let's get under the 8 and moving on. Ben Brown and the Baby Bears on the road against the Buccos and Carmen Machinsky, Ben Brown starting to flash. Cubs offense, also probably the better offense, though they've been ass as of late. I think I like Brown here. I haven't really trusted the Pittsburgh offense. I know we're on the road, but I really think we have the better team in this one. Model, especially on like the first five, maybe because Brown's not much of a distance guy. I would price that one and avoid the premium. Meaning, so generally, it's not always. The F5 is usually a lot more expensive than the full game. In this case, it's not, but I still don't know if I'm sold. So the money line for the Cubs is minus 125, and the F5 is minus 132. And like that's the decision I have to make. If I want to take this one, if I want to take this one to the bullpens in the late innings, I think I'm okay with that. Because again, the Pirate bullpen is just they're so underwhelming. You know, if it's like tied and you get Soto, I'm not expecting to score a run. But I think the Cubs might be priced a little bit light. I think they hate, because again, the offense is blown, but these are independent events. We did this with the Mets with some success earlier in the year when people were just completely fed up with them, and we, kind of bought down low on the bottom. Mr. Freedom, Matty Liberatore, very fitting, man. I don't know. Can we go against a Liberatore on Memorial Day? Might be a fucking narrative faux pas. Cardinals on the road as very heavy dogs against my guy, Jacob Misiorowski, and the fucking Cheesemakers. Man, I gotta get a producer, or at least one person. I need someone to get me a disingenuous clip going on, because I know for a fact in the Futures episode of the show before the season, I had mentioned Misiorowski to lead the league in strikeouts at 120-1. And because I'm such a pussy when it comes to futures bets, I don't like to hang money on the line. I think most of them are losers. Pitchers are never healthy. So I didn't fucking pull the trigger on it. And it looks like it was at least a smart bet. He's probably a much better price than that. So I've been on the Miz, and he's really lived up to it. Wind blowing in Milwaukee, they're 225 favorites. Oh, this is also like another pretty good donkey piece. I think somebody mentioned it. I think I saw that in the comment section. So if that was on there, I'd probably agree. Oh, Stevie, look at that, Stevie. Read my mind, brother. Love that shit. Let's fucking go. Yeah, why not? Why not? It's a holiday, right? Let's have some fun. Though, and this would be the only difference, all kidding aside, right, is that I've got the Brewers modeled over the run on the mean. Now, yes, we have the Dodgers also, but that Dodgers run line is minus 2.5. My point being that there may be an argument for the Brewers cover. Sorry, I realize I skip a game. We'll go back in a second. What's the price of the... See, this I don't like. We were talking about this yesterday. The minus 225 is yielding a minus 110. I don't care about the cents. You got to get me to plus money on the run line, or you're kind of missing me with that. See, I would mix that into the chalk parlay. And listen, if we lose, we lose. Who gives a shit? I'd much rather lower my risk and lose than be paying all this juice, have the dogs disappoint you, and now you're like playing from behind the rest of the week and shit. Like, whatever. If they do right, then you get paid lowered risk. For me, I always going to take the conservative route. If you're purely a straight better, man, do you. I'm not going to, right? What's our thing? 1,000 ways to skin a cat without scratching his asshole. All right, next up, my boy Zebby Matthews. He looks fucking awesome, man. Kind of kissing my... Caleb, you got me, bro. I read your comment as I was getting ready to do it. Zebby Matthews on the bump against the White Sox, and Anthony, every kiss begins with K. You fucking... You threw me off. Here, props to you, D-Trip, because again, if you notice, I really don't preach at people. It says cards at 192 is looking nice. You know what? And this is what's funny is, yeah, it's almost always hard to argue with that price. Let me offer you this one thing. And I mean, man, Milwaukee's bullpen's been really good. So if you're going to kind of spin the wheel, because you're fucking, you're taking a massive risk, it's baked in. These F5 run lines where you could get paid on the tie for plus money are awesome. And this would be another one. If I need a young apprentice. Like if I ever fucking suck it up and pay somebody, that would be one of the things that I really would want to test lives. And I put these in the wild because I believe in them. So like if anyone is looking for, those signal, right? Those signal bets we were talking about, similar to, D-Trip says F5 is a play. I agreed. What you want the small sample, right? You want to scratch one across. You want to just get it done. You turn a double play, and you're fucking out, right? Not looking to be heroes. We're looking to get paid. These are two totally different things, right? That's the difference between like the ball knowers and the gamblers. Like, yeah, you don't want to get too far in the weeds. We're just looking to cash. Take the money and the plus EV. I don't think we want all the extra at bats. Anyway, now I like Zebby Matthews. Okay, Josh, maybe you have a better forecast. Josh is saying 72% chance of rain in Baltimore. I brought up the prop finder. I don't know shit about fuck when it comes to weather. I don't know dick. I just try and use consensus from a couple different sites and do the best I can. However, we're on the under, and all right, like if we're gonna get bad weather, like that'd be okay. Maybe it fucks with the starting pitchers also. All right, not to go too far in the weeds. Zebby in the Twins. I'm a Zebby guy. But, right, double butt, triple butt, big BBL fucking butt. That Minnesota bullpen is very hard to back. They're very, very hard to back. So I always like to check the prices on these, right? I mentioned the F5 full game premium. Just because it's a holiday doesn't mean we're not going to learn. Twins minus 113 on the money line. Oh, I like that ass. But, right? But also minus 115 on the F5 line. This is why we check prices. That's wrong. Okay? One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. And that's a fact. There is no world, especially Zebby is not a distance guy. There's no fucking world where the Twins should not be punished for that bullpen. They're fucking terrible. Especially, let's be honest, this White Sox offense, we'll fade them when they're rolling Kiss McKay out there. They hit, though. They have a lot of bats. Vargas is going through some shit. Murakami, if you miss, he will punish you. I don't think he's a great hitter. He has to control the zone. But if you miss, he's going to stick it in the anus. You know what I'm saying? He's getting up in that ass. So Twins F5 is a massive steal for me. And I know I was talking about an afternoon parlay. I like that one solo. I don't want to lose that bet. Basically, if not like I'm giving out plays I think I'm going to lose. I always think I'm going to fucking lose parlays. That's how they work. I would bet that one straight. Jay Mean says, is Austin Martin on your card for the Twins? Yeah, but I think it's just for the single. I was really checking. That's how I know. I was really kind of looking. The reason why, and here's the thing. This is a good one. I don't know if this is where you were going, underwater trades, what's going on. Jeff L. repping the big shaking asses. The wet ones at that. One of the edges where Jay Main asked about Austin Martin. This is happening on the Sunday show, the paid pod, the fantasy thing. I'm doing a playing time review every Sunday. I mean, it's the fastest I can blow through it. Austin Martin leading off versus righties right now. Right, so we always want to be on these. We want to be on these moves. Now, he got it without Buxton, but he also let off last Sunday, day before that. Like, Austin Martin has let off 4 of the last 7 for the Twins. And I wonder if maybe he's moving himself up into the top third. And again, that's going to project the extra plate appearance and all that goodness. So anyway, we want Minnesota F5. Absolutely, we want to jump on K, get in and out, wham bam, a thank you, man. All right, we got a bunch left. I want to be a little bit quicker. This is taking too long. Willie Warren and the bad guys, Yankees on the road, heavy favorites in KC to face Michael Waka Flocka. Wind blowing out, but I still came up with the under. Warren's been good. I know Waka's been good also. Everybody wants to always gas up the Yankees. I'm a tremendous fucking Yankee fan, but we got to just be honest. Like, they're not great right now. I don't love this. I think the total is double counting like Yankees plus wind. I'm just not buying it. I think both pens have even been okay. So I'm under the 9. I hate being under on fucking Yankee games, man. I really do. But I am. That's what I got. I'm under the 9. And, of course, Yankees, because they always kind of lean heavy on the totals, there might be an affordable 9.5. I would imagine there is. Because I'm seeing U9 minus 108. Right, so these are the spots, especially when we're pairing, that I'm willing to give up a little bit of juice because I think that determinative run is worth more than that. Next up, Nicky Lodolo. Man, he's got to get right eventually, right? It's killing me, man. What did he walk 5 guys last time out? Lodolo and the Reds on the road is 135 dogs against Nolan John McClain dying hard with the Let's Go Mets Go down in Queens. Metropolitans minus 162 at the crib. Again, I thought maybe we'd get like a more inflated total. Books have really started beating us to the punch on a lot of these. I don't think I have a play here. If I have a play, it's like it's the Reds. I'm like squinted on the Reds. I'll be honest. You know what, brother? That's why I have you people here. Bobby Johnson. Yankees ML doesn't look bad. Dude, how did I miss that? Oh, I'll tell you why. Money is flying in on the Royals. That opened up. Those numbers are from this morning. I was late. Those numbers are from this morning. And right now, there's a live minus 135. So I'm on that also. I think when I saw the price, I probably would have shifted. Watch, I'll show you how we do this in real time. So watch how the number changes. You know, so that's a great grab by you. And then also the Royals went 130 to 110. Wow, and that kind of changes how we're looking at it. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna actually shift that one. Let me back it up. I'm gonna get on the Yankee run line. I'm gonna kind of fade the public, although I would say one more thing before we move. Maybe we're gonna learn just one more thing. Give me a second. Okay, there's a lot of conversation always about CLV, how important it is. It is important. It's way more important for football than it is for baseball. The markets are more liquid. They're also on the vine for an entire week. Baseball games, I think they really happen too fast because even in football, just because it moved one direction does not mean it's not going to move back. That happens all the time. Baseball, we don't get enough time for the pendulum to rest. That's why I'm willing to buck CLV. I've very rarely, if ever, am going to wake up on an NFL Sunday and go against the fucking price. Usually not. We would have already had to have had a handicap earlier in the week to describe what I'm about to explain now, which is called trailing a price. Okay, don't let anyone tell you that you can't go against fucking CLV. Kiss my fat fucking ass, yo. Okay? Trailing a price means you want to be going, right? You want to go against the market, but you understand that there's momentum against you, but you're not live yet, right? So this is pre-execution. You're looking to get your price. This is a perfect example. Yankees were minus 155. You're like, You love them at minus. You already knew. I like them at minus 135. Price hits minus 135. You don't have to execute at minus 135. You could watch and begin to trail, right? So you're watching your board and you'll check it. The heavy move intraday, same day, is a pretty stark move. So meaning, be patient because the minus 135 might be a minus 125 by the time we get to the end. What I like to do, play with a 5-cent cushion. That's your trailing price, meaning it went 155, 145, 135. At 135, you're saying now, if it bounces up to 140, I'm going to get back in. I'm not going to let it swing all the way back. I'm going to sacrifice, right, like a little mini risk intra-trade to try and hit on the swing. Because, again, with this kind of momentum, The public may suck it up. People do chase CLV even in baseball. And again, I don't mean to knock it. I'm not trying to get clipped on how I don't give a fuck about the market like we're smarter than the market. I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but have confidence in your work. And if you pre-plan these moves, I think it's totally fine to go against CLV. Boom. All right, so Yankees to win. The Reds and the Mets, I have nothing. I think the answer is probably the Reds, but the model doesn't like it. Maybe it's like the Reds F5 because the Reds bullpen has been such ass. That's probably where I'm leaning. If I had to take one, I'm absolutely not betting this one. Would be Lodolo minus 110 getting the half run. I think Lodolo is being undersold a little bit because he hasn't performed. But he never got his season started with the blisters. I'm telling myself, it's still spring training for him. Next up, Merrill Kelly and the Snakes with shapes on their back. They're on the road in San Francisco to face my boy Landon Roop. If you're one of the fantasy guys, we're all over him. Our pitching staffs are looking really good, chock full of youngsters that are awesome. Kelly's been trashed. The Arizona offense is starting to hit, but so are the Giants. So, man, this sucks because this feels like a game that would have been priced closer to even a couple of years ago. I don't know how you play this. The Giants are at minus 140, which is right on the edge of where I'm playing baseball games straight. So I think that's my play. But I'm not going to be laying 140 to hit this straight. I'm not going to. And it's like it's not there to pair. It ain't there to pair. Poet didn't know it. The bullpen's been good, so I think you can go full game. I honestly do think the Giants win. But I worry about getting popped in the grill by that Diamondback offense. Whenever you pitch against them, you're just never feeling good about facing Corbin Carroll and Kettle Marte. Kettle Marte's on fire, too, So when it's like superstars that are raking, you just don't feel good. Yo, appreciate that. J-Main, up in the bitch. Yes, sir, I have Rupert Messick. Yo, we did the thing. That was a real hit for us. And, obviously the season has a long way to go. I'm hoping, man, I get mine in one of these big best ball tournaments. I was much better in draft. I'm much better in DraftKings than I am in fucking Underdog. But we are crushing DraftKings, like killing it. It's incredible. Incredible. I wish I went in harder. Had I gone in as hard with DK as I did with Underdog, I'd probably be the favorite to win the fucking tournament. You got to see the stats. I mean, killing. So hopefully we bring home some hardware, and hopefully we got some fantasy trophies coming our way this season. Again, but you got to be adding, you got to be paying attention. Of course. It's very hard to win leagues. Rupa, I'll help you do it because I do think the Giants win. It's a little bit expensive. Let's move it on. Man, I got even more chalk. This is a really chalky day. Ooh, and if anyone knows me, right, long enough, I hate day baseball because I am always betrayed during the daytime. And it kills me because I can't quantify it. But man, Cleveland Guardians hosting Zach Littell and the Nats with bullpen issues. Tanner Bybee on the bump. I mean, this one I may go for the Cleveland cover. I wasn't really trying to do stats, but I wanted to get my eyeball on the Nats offense. There was no way they were going to keep this up forever, So I wonder if we're getting what kind of price we're getting. Sometimes Cleveland comes at a nice discount. They do, right? So that's a good point. Again, like I mentioned, those prices, that minus 185 yielding a plus 120. 120 I could dig on if you're betting straight. If you're pairing, then you pair the money line, I think. I don't like to pair run lines. It feels greedy, especially when you're at home. But the Cleveland is also, that's another one. Man, I know I'm like I am the DDP guy. I love the daily dime bag parlays. I love the chalk donkey parlays. They fucking suck though, man. And maybe the lesson for the hit run Rui stuff, right? I started with 4s and 3s, and what ends up happening? It wasn't until we reduced to 2 that we start winning. You think this Alvarez kid gets in behind a little? I want so bad to pick him up from the Nats. Well, pitching is so tough right now. If you're speculating, do it now because the Nats pitching staff is garbage. I kind of thought Mitchell Parker might have been next. The Nats have multiple spots available. I thought Parker would be next. But yeah, you gotta be aggressive in adding pitching, also because it's cheap. If the guy comes up and has an awesome start, everybody's on it, and you're like, shit, this is bullshit, right? So timing is also kind of everything. Yeah, I've got Cleveland for the cover and Cleveland for the win, but what I was saying is maybe it's like I said, maybe it's like a pairing thing. And I like to go by window. So let's see, like the Brewers were an early favorite, and we like them. Like, I don't know. I mean, you could pair them with the Giants, which are like a less of a heavy favorite. You know, I mean, that's going to get you to plus 150. If you don't love the Giants and you go Brewers guards, which we feel a little bit better off, like that's a plus 125. I don't know. I don't know why people hate on the pairing the money line so fast. Let me make my case really quick, and then we're going to get out of here. If you guys are listening at this point, you really care about this shit. Okay. Here is my case to Fez, right, and all the very objectively smart people who make the counter argument. I don't understand their argument. I just have been told, right? In fact, it is not to knock Steve. I like Steve a lot. But he says this. Ask him. He'll be the first one to tell you. You can fucking check his timeline. It's all over it. How MIT quants will explain to you. And I'm like, well, can you break it down for us fucking knuckle-dragging mouth breathers like myself? Because here's the way I see it. And I'm just going to get, again, how do I do things? Pragmatically, hopefully in an easy way, real-world applications. Follow me. Very easy. Two favorites. Doesn't matter who they are, though we're implying heavy favorites, but just favorites. By definition, right? You got to pay juice, just by definition. Or they, right, it starts with a negative. Which means what? It means, again, by definition, if you were to bet the same amount on both and hit one, you lose. Simply put. Depending how you're betting, the outcome is the same, you're losing. But it can change, like if you're, let's say you're a straight bettor, opposed to betting to win, meaning some people would bet a unit at minus 180. Some people bet 1.8 units to win one unit. No matter how you skin that fucking cat, the asshole is bleeding, brother. Don't work for me, brother. It's a loser, no matter what. One step forward. So you need to hit both bets in order to profit. So if I need to hit both bets in order to profit, why wouldn't I circumvent the juice, lower the risk, and still yield that same logic tree? If two bets win. If one bet wins, loss. If two bets lose, loss. Now, the argument, I guess, might be, well, when one wins and you bet straight, it's a smaller loss than one losing of a parlay, which is a loss. But I think, depending on the numbers, I can counter that mathematically. So that's always been my take. Number one, don't let anybody fucking tell you what to do. If you're being responsible, which is the only thing that matters, do whatever the fuck you want. Fuck these guys. Good shit, whatever it says. But if you really care about building kind of sustainable processes, then that's fine. D-Trip says, parlays don't hit for me. One expensive leg always loses. You're right, it's a story. Right, it's a story of for all of us. But pairing, if you can get them to even, to me that's fine. So rather than a DDP today, I think I'm going to try something different. I think we're going to try daily dime bag pairing. Right, in the same way we're pairing the hit run ribbies, I think we're going to pair some favorites. So of course I took up your fucking hour, but I really do hope everybody is appreciated. To all my gente, up in the piece. It ain't
This is Sparta!
It really is. Just appreciate the hell out of all these, man. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the games. When we're done with the book, enjoy the pay. Thanks for picking up while I'm putting down. Best freaking show on the web. Football stuff coming hot and heavy. There's already some streams. I got a little bit delayed with work and some ranking stuff. It's all cleared up now. Going forward, baseball and football content. Press the fucking like button. It matters more than it should. Subscribe. It matters more than it should. Hit me up on Twitter if you want to tell me some butt jokes, man. I'm all about that crap. You know what I mean? Be safe today. Don't fucking drink and drive, idiots. Seriously, don't fucking drink and drive. I'll send you fucking money for an Uber. Don't be a bitch. And sign up for my work. And I think that'll do it. Remember, when you work this freaking hard, man, the winning feels a lot less like luck, yo. Peace out.